What's going on, everybody? If you didn't know, now you know. It's your boy Kelvin here, back again with this NBA 2K12 rookie versus sophomore game. Why am I showing this? Because NBA Draft 2012 is coming up tonight, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock tonight. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's pretty important, you know. We all know Anthony Davis is going #1. Thomas Robinson out of Kansas, I believe, yeah, Kansas, projected to go #2, and then after that, it's a whole lot of mix-up. We don't really know what's coming after that, but those two pretty much locked in at #1 and 2, and then I'm seeing a lot of different reports coming from all over the place. And my man Raptor, I believe it was, asked me to share my thoughts on who the Raptors should draft in this year's draft, because the Raptors, they got a pretty nice pick at #8, and this is a pretty deep draft. Like, even late teens, early like 20s, those are some pretty nice guys that you could get with those picks. So it is definitely important that the Raptors make the damn right choice in #8, because we all know they had the #1 choice before, and they got Andrea Bargnani, overlooking Rudy Gay and Brandon Roy, and there are also some other good players in that draft. But anyways, we're talking about this year now. The Raptors, with the #8 seed, apparently they're looking to get a shooting guard, and they're going to move DeMar DeRozan over to the small forward, which is, to me, I think that's a pretty good move. DeMar DeRozan, he has the height at 6'7", and the athleticism. Remember, he was in the Sprite Slam Dunk competition. Some people say he was robbed. I don't think he was robbed, but that's a whole nother story. So I think he definitely could play at the 3 guard. I mean, not 3 guard, the 3 position. And then they could bring in a shooting guard, because there's definitely a lot of good shooting guards that are coming in this year. And there are reports that they're looking at 3 shooting guards. And the 3 shooting guards they're looking at are Dion Waiters out of Syracuse, who's 6'4", and he came off the bench at Syracuse. So I'm kind of wondering how he's a top 10 pick if he came off the bench at college. How is he going to be a top, player in this year's draft in the NBA? But anyways, moving on. After Dion Waiters, they're looking at Jeremy Lamb, they were originally very high on Jeremy Lamb. That was a player they really wanted to get, but I'm going to talk about that more a little bit later. And the last player they're looking at is Austin Rivers, who I think we all know out of Duke was a very good player and has a lot of offensive prowess, and he's Doc Rivers' son, so he's a student to the game, so he'll definitely have a good NBA career. So who do I think the Raptors should draft this year with the #8 pick? I think they should go with Austin Rivers. Now, I think we all know I'm not really a Toronto Raptors fan, but you know what? I'm going to put that in the past. This year, I'm going to try and jump on the bandwagon. If they get Austin Rivers, I'm on that bandwagon straight up. I'm going to stop calling them the Craptors. I'm going to stop hating on them if they get Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers is a YouTube sensation. Everybody knows about him. He's been doing his thing in high school. He was killing competition. He has a lot of offensive talent, and the Raptors, they could use some of that. Now, I know they've said in previous years that they're focusing on defense. They're focusing on rebounding. Well, those things have stepped up, but a lot of times, to me, when I look at their games, it seems like they're having some difficulty scoring the ball. DeMar DeRozan he's never been like a great, amazing scorer. He has improved his jump shot, because when he first came in the league, his jump shot was ugly as hell. But now he's knocking down a couple more tray balls. He's getting them to go. He's still attacking the rim with reckless abandon, and that's all good and dandy. And then Bargnani, he's whatever, he does what he does some nights, and then other nights he doesn't even show up to the game pretty much. So I think they could really make use of Austin Rivers with his ability to dribble, penetrate into the lane. And he's also got some point guard abilities. He'd be great in the pick and roll, the pick and pop actually with Bargnani. So that would be something they could add to the arsenal. So I think Austin Rivers should be the guy that they pick up, but we'll see what they do. Now, originally, like I said, they were looking at Jeremy Lamb out of UConn, and Jeremy Lamb, he didn't have too good of a year this year at UConn, which they were just messing up all over the place down the stretch. Connecticut, I don't know what they were doing this year, but last year he was instrumental in helping them get that championship banner alongside Kemba Walker. So you can't really overlook that. He definitely has a good game, and at 6'7", I hear he has a 7-foot wingspan. He definitely has the ability and to guard to be a top defender in the NBA, and he can definitely be a force on the on the defensive glass and offensive glass if he really wants to. So he could be a good pickup. But what they're saying is that he has some ankle injuries that happened, you know, during while he was working out for teams, and they're also saying that he has some shoulder problems now that could be recurrent throughout his career. So now, after hearing that, the Raptors, who were originally high on him, they're saying they might pass on him. So they're saying that Jeremy Lamb could be sliding down a couple spots in the draft, which, to me, you know, Jeremy Lamb, he's a good player, but, you know, like I said, this year he wasn't doing too good. He didn't do very much. You know, the Connecticut team kind of relied on him to be that replacement of Kemba Walker, and he just didn't really show it. He didn't really show that leadership. He wasn't playing that leadership role, unlike Austin Rivers, who just freshman year came out. He started doing things on a pretty talented Duke team. So in my opinion, they should go with Austin Rivers all the way. That's who I'm saying they should pick. If they get Austin Rivers, they'd be pretty nice. And yeah, but you know, we really don't know what's going on. I'm looking at a lot of different mock drafts. They're saying Dion Waiters, you know, could be picked up by them, but they're also saying Dion. I've looked at a couple others that have said Dion Waiters is going to go like number 6 and number 7. And so I really don't know what's going to happen tonight, but it should be pretty interesting. And then another team I want to talk about, the Celtics. The Celtics have 2 picks in a row. I believe the 22nd and 23rd, or the 23rd and 24th. I can't remember, but they got 2 picks in a row in the first round, and they got a lot of rebuilding to do. You know, apparently Ray Allen is going to the Miami Heat. I don't know if that's true or not, but damn it, Ray Allen, don't do that shit, bro. I'll be pissed as hell if you go to the Miami Heat. That's just even more abuse I got to deal with in 2K13 from Miami, man. I can't put up with that. Do not go to the Miami Heat. But like I was saying, they got a chance to rebuild tonight. Now, they're saying Jared Sullinger out of Ohio State, who I had predicted to win this year, but they got screwed over by Kansas. But hey, I had predicted them to win the whole thing. But Jared Sullinger, he's a pretty good player, but what they're saying is that he didn't really develop too much this sophomore season after having a beast freshman season last year. But, you know, they're also saying he's having some back problems that were flagged by NBA doctors, which is the reason why he's fallen so far in the draft. Because they're saying at the beginning of the year he was a top 5 pick for sure, hands down. But right now he's like projected to go early 20s, late first round, in that area. And, you know, I think the Celtics should definitely get him if he's available, which you're saying that some people have said they're definitely getting him because he's a talent. You know, he's got a lot of low post moves in his arsenal, and he could definitely help the Celtics because at times, just like the Raptors, they do struggle to find offense, especially in the low post because they only have KG. Brandon Bass, he's not really like an isolation player down in the block. I don't really see him post up at all, actually. He mostly hits like jump shots or crashes the offensive glass and does what he does, which is all fine and dandy. But hey, adding another low post scorer would be pretty good for the Celtics, in my opinion, especially since he's coming off the bench. So it's definitely easier to get some points off the bench, which is what they need. So anyways, that's pretty much all I gotta say. NBA draft coming up tonight. You guys should look out for that. You know, it should be pretty interesting. I'm excited to see what happens for next year. So this is your boy Kelvin, and I'm out. Deuces.